Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lindsay. Welcome to Save the Crafty YouTuber Video Hop. Now this was put together because YouTube is changing their partner program and their monetization requirements. So that's affecting a lot of us smaller YouTubers. So companies, YouTubers, big and small, have all come together to help raise up those numbers, to help those of us who are still below that level reach our goal. Now along this hop, there are tons of stops, and at each stop, you're going to be able to win some prizes. Over 120 prizes we'll be giving away. On my channel personally, there will be a $25 Simon Says Stamp gift card and also 2 Catherine Pooler ink pads. Now, those can only be given to US residents only, so make sure you put that in your comment down below. And let's get on to the video. I'm going to be sharing pattern stamping today. It's one of my favorite techniques. You can do all different things with it, and each time you stamp a card, it's going to come out differently. I'm starting with a piece of heavyweight white cardstock in my mini Misty. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'll be using this stamp set from Neat and Tangled. This is the Triangle Pattern Background Builder stamp set, and it just has 4 different triangles that are all different sizes. Now, if you do not have this stamp set, you can still build this pattern. All you need is some painter's tape, and you can blend on the ink or swipe your ink pad across your paper to fill in that color. I'm going to be using the stamp set though, just because I want to layer up some inks here. I'm starting off with the largest triangle in this set. Now, I have chosen my color palette based on the pattern itself. I have a board over on Pinterest, that link will be in the description box below, where I keep a ton of inspiration of patterns that I can just go find one I like, pull it out, and just replicate the pattern on a card. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. I chose my color palette by that picture, and I'm starting off with some dandelion ink, and I'm going to stamp that right down in the bottom left-hand corner. Now this is a dewdrop ink pad, and just by nature it's a little bit splotchy at first, but once it dries it kind of evens itself out. I will be doing double stamping here though, and once that was finished I gave it a little bit of time to dry. These are dye ink pads, so if I were to go in right away while this was still wet, the inks would bleed together and I'd end up with a little bit of an orangish look right where the red and yellow meet. I didn't want that, so give it a few seconds to dry. Then I came in with the smaller triangle exactly over the top of that and stamped that in some red dye ink. I believe that was Ladybug ink. Now next up is to do the stripes in this pattern. You can do this several ways. You could use a stencil, or you can just use painter's tape like I said before, and ink blend or swipe color on. But I'm going to be using this stamp set from Waffle Flower Stamps. It's just a stripe pattern building stamp set essentially that just has a bunch of different lines in it. I have a few of these, I'm not gonna lie. I love building patterns, making my own plaid patterns. Not only that, these are really great for sentiment or sympathy cards and also masculine cards when I just don't know what to do for some of those men out there. Now, I went ahead and used the same color palette like I said that's in the photo. So I've got some dark blue dye ink and also some very light khaki dye ink. This is Desert Sand, also from Memento. Now the Desert Sand ink is super light, so I did double stamp it each time I went in with this ink. If you wanted to skip this step completely and just stamp the blue ink, you could always leave those stripes white, just the color of the cardstock, or you could stamp on cream colored cardstock, but I wanted to throw in that ink color. Now I stamped all the way up my paper until I reached where I first started those triangles. At this point I needed to mask those off, but I wanted to wait until that ink was dry because if I try and put painter's tape over wet ink, it's going to be a nightmare to try and take that painter's tape off later. Also, go ahead and stick your painter's tape to like the front of your shirt or your sleeve a few times just to get a little bit of that tackiness away. It'll be much easier to remove later on. The trick to removing this is just to pull it straight back on itself, and then you've got this gorgeous pattern paper that you created yourself ready to go on a card. I finished this off very simply. I used the Really Big Thanks word die and stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I die cut the word die several times, stacked it up, made my own little chipboard embellishment, stamped Thanks a Million right underneath that, and matted the entire thing onto a craft mat, and then put it onto an A2 top folding white card base. I also went ahead and stamped on the inside of the card, so all I have to do is sign my name and this card can be popped in the mail. That does it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click that link down below to hop on over to the next video. Also, be sure to comment on all the stops, and don't forget to like and subscribe each video. We can't thank you enough for that. Happy crafting, everybody.